Every single moment you're awake, you're using this incredible piece of biological engineering to see the world. But have you ever really stopped to think about how it all works? Well, we're going to follow the journey of light and see how your eyes, these amazing living cameras, capture everything around you. I mean, think about that. It's such a simple but powerful statement. Sure, we can identify things by smell or touch, but it's our sight that gives us the vibrant colors and all the tiny details of our world. It really is our most direct connection to everything we see. Right. That's the big question, isn't it? We're about to trace the path of light from the outside world, right through all the complex parts of your eye, all the way to that final image your brain puts together. And the crazy part? This whole journey happens in an absolute flash. Okay, so the best way to wrap our heads around this whole complex process is with a really simple but powerful analogy. Just think of your eye as a super sophisticated, self-adjusting camera that's capturing images all on its own. And when you put them side by side, the parallels are just, wow, they're striking. Just like a camera, your eye uses a lens system to form an image on a light-sensitive screen. In a camera, that's a digital sensor. In our eye, it's the retina, which, as you'll see, is way more complex. And get this. All of this incredible technology, this whole living camera, is packed into a tiny sphere that's only about 2.3 centimeters across. It's just a remarkable example of nature's efficiency, packing so much power into such a tiny space. All right, let's start the journey. So where does it begin? We're going to follow a single ray of light as it makes its very first contact with the eye, which is a kind of transparent outer window. Well, that transparent window? That's your cornea. Now, it does act as a clear protective shield for your eye, but its main job is actually way more active than that. This is where most of the heavy lifting for focusing begins. It does that first powerful bending, or what's called refraction, of light. Okay, so light is through the front door. Now what? Well, the eye has to control exactly how much of that light gets in. See, too much light can overwhelm the system, and too little means you can't see a thing. So the eye has its own built-in automatic aperture control. That job belongs to the iris. Yep, the colored part of your eye. Doesn't matter if it's blue, brown, or green, the iris is basically a muscle that sits just behind the cornea, and it's constantly expanding and contracting to perfectly manage how much light gets through. Now, the pupil, that little black dot right in the center of your eye, here's a cool fact. It isn't actually a thing. It's just the opening that the iris controls. When you're in a bright room, the iris tightens up, making the pupil smaller to limit the light. And in the dark, it opens up super wide to let in as much light as it possibly can. After squeaking through the pupil, the light hits another critical component, the crystalline lens. So remember how the cornea did that first big coarse focusing? Well, the lens is in charge of all the delicate fine-tuning. Think of it like a two-part focusing system. The cornea gives you that fixed primary power, but the lens is dynamic. Tiny little muscles attached to it are actually changing its shape to make all those subtle adjustments you need to focus on things up close and far away. That's how you can instantly shift your gaze from your phone right in front of you to a bird way outside the window. Okay, we're almost there. We've followed the light as it's been controlled and focused. Now it's about to hit its final destination, the place where all this visual information is actually captured and turned into something our brain can finally understand. And this brings us to the final, perfect piece of our camera analogy, the retina. This is the light-sensitive layer at the very back of the eyeball, and it acts just like the eye's digital sensor. It's covered in millions of specialized cells that convert light into electrical signals that our brain can finally process. And there you have it. That whole incredible journey happens in less than an instant. Light comes in through the cornea, it passes through the pupil, it gets fine-tuned by the lens, and it finally lands as a clear image on the retina, all ready to be sent off to the brain. That entire, complex, instantaneous process gives us one of the greatest gifts in life, the ability to see the beautiful, colorful world all around us, from a giant sunset to the face of someone you love. So the next time you look around, just remember that tiny, living camera that's always at work. It lets you experience countless visual wonders every single day. So take a moment and appreciate it. And maybe ask yourself, what's the most amazing thing my eyes have shown me today?